Marvin, a wee bit frustrated this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm frustrated for the players. It was a tough afternoon in the end in terms of obviously the result. But yeah, frustration. I think that's probably the word, because I think in the first half I thought the boys were brilliant. They worked extremely hard. I just felt on the ball we could have been a little bit better. We spoke about that at half time. A couple of things that caused us problems. We made adjustments, and then in the second half, obviously we conceded 2 goals that are probably avoidable. But over the course, we created enough chances to also score at the other end. So yeah, there's a bit of frustration across the board, definitely.
I felt myself that it was kind of, you matched them apart from a 10-minute spell when they were more clinical.
Yeah, exactly, more clinical, as you said. But we created more than enough chances, as you said, to potentially get one in the back of the net. I thought Jack was fantastic in terms of his header. I think from a corner kick, and he probably caught it too well. Gavin Riley comes on and has a couple of chances. Carl Doherty, Gibbo. So there was more than enough chances, more than half chances, I would say, where normally they hit the back of the net. But like you said, that 10-minute spell, I always speak about it. If you concede in the game, just deal with that adversity. Don't concede a second one. Give yourself the platform to go out there and get something out of the game. But like you said, we conceded 2 goals in quite quick succession, and it was frustrating.
It's always hard to take any positives after the defeat, but given the way they were against them previously, and the way they are today, do you see that there is a progression? There is
a progression, definitely. And like you said, it's tough it's still raw after losing that game of football. Going back to the game at their place, there were a lot of mistakes made by us that we should have been better in. And even the 2 goals we concede today, there's things we've spoken about not doing, and it just crept back in, and we've done them today, and we've conceded the goals. Instantly the players hold their hands up in there, because they know, which is always a good thing. Not always going to be able to execute everything that they want to do, but they know what they should have done, and that's part of the learning process. So yeah, listen, it's frustrating, Sandra, definitely. We use that word quite a few times in this interview, but you've hit the nail on the head with that.
In a similar vein, this was always going to be a big test today, and a good test to see just exactly where they are now.
Yeah, it was a good test. It was a good test, and as I said, it's not just the boys in the defensive side of the team; it's the boys at the top end as well that felt that they could have done better with their chances. But there were some good performances out there. For me, as I said, the players worked hard. It was never a game. We didn't really care about possession in terms of in their defensive third when they had it. We're trying to set traps in order to try and turn the ball over. And as I said, I felt the boys done that, especially in the first half. It's just the quality when we did turn it over. Can we keep it a little bit more? But listen, we bring some boys on to freshen us up. I thought Carl Doherty was a threat up front, and I think when Gavin Riley went on, we really complimented him. Harry Cochrane as well coming on, gave us a difference. Good to see him back. And then Kieran McKechnie, who's been ill for a large part of the week, goes on and gives us 10 minutes at the end, because obviously Lewis getting cramp.
You're coming into this game knowing that they're higher up and things that in the next spell that's coming up, Kelty, and these are the teams that you're still tucked in there, and these are the teams that you want to be trying to get away from. Yeah,
we want to try and get away from them, but coming into this game, they're in the same league as us. I don't care whether they're top or bottom of the league. We come up with a game plan, and we aim to execute it. Go into this game to win this game of football. We're all in the same league, so no one will be shown any more respect than anyone else. We go into the Kelty Hearts game, and we'll work extremely hard during the week, and we'll go there to get a positive result. As you said, I'm not looking past that, because that's when you start tripping up. We spoke about that before. Going to the Kelty Hearts game, making sure that we are at it, we are bang at it, and we're ready to take the points from that game.
And Kelty are a team that we probably owe something to.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I think I've spoken about it before. I think the first half against Kelty Hearts, first 44 minutes, I think was probably the best I've had since being at the club. And then you can see the goal in the 45th minute, and then you come out in the second half and you can see 2 more goals. So yeah, but we don't owe them anything. We owe it to ourselves, to show that we can put in that kind of performance over a 90-minute period, and that's what we'll be aiming to do.
You talked ahead about having Harry back, so some of the injured players are starting to come back, but you've also added Max Kilsby and Joe. Yeah,
delighted to get those 2 players in. Obviously, Max spent the first half of the season at Annan. He's always due to go back to Carlisle on the 6th of June. He's been in and around, their first team, training with them, etc. And then, he became available for loan again. With us playing 3 at the back, we needed to bring another centre half into the building. And he's someone, people hear that he can play left of the 3. He's comfortable doing it. He's done it at Carlisle, because they play at 3 at the back. In terms of it's the same throughout the whole club. And he can also, play in at left back where we've seen him, and left wing back. So, it's brilliant to bring him in here. Gives us a little bit of balance to having a left footer potentially in the back three. And Joel is someone I've known about. Obviously started his career when he came over to England at Burnley. Actually played in the Premier League, and he's probably just lost his way a little bit. You won't mind me saying, but enthusiastic, hard working, willing runner in behind, and it's up to me and the staff to get that kind of potential, showing again, because he really is a handful for any defender in this league. To be fair, with the attributes he has in the whole of Scotland, if he's at it, and it's up to me to make sure he can do that. Some
players just click with some teams and some just don't click with others.
Yeah, exactly. Some players, and that's just the way it is. And probably one is Burrell. We saw him last season at Falkirk, kind of in and out of the team, and then he leaves the club and goes to Cove. And before today's games, he was top goal scorer in Scotland. So sometimes it just needs to click. So hopefully it clicks for Joel, because if it does, that the fans are in for an exciting time. We have to be a little bit patient with him, getting him up to speed. The same with Max. But they'll definitely add something to our squad and to our team when they're playing.
She said Max had been at Annan, so he knows this league, but he'll benefit again from being full-time football.
Yeah, and training with the team full-time. Obviously when he was at Annan, he was training with Carlisle a couple of days, and then some days with Annan. So being in with us, again, there's probably a lot to learn, a lot of things we do differently. But he's taken it all in yesterday, and as I said, don't really want to overload new players with things, but. Yeah, listen, he's an intelligent footballer. He knows what he wants out of the game. He knows how hard he has to work to first get into this team and then stay in there. But he'll do that. And the flip side of that is the boys who've got the jerseys know that they've got boys breathing down their necks. So it's a healthy competition that we now have.